Good question. Indeed, our students are being prepared for today's job and job for the future. To a certain extent, you may say yes. Why? Because our education system developed from, humble background, learning from other experience, and try to impart that improvement into our students. In doing so, engagement with market, engagement with industry is crucial. So obviously, various countries having different way of engaging industries and different depth and breadth. More engagement with industry making our students more ready for the current job as well as into the future job. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially talking about future job, because the job dynamics outside there, not many understand. It depends on the structure of the economy, how it progress. It depends on how the world, progress as well. So in that sense, in some economy, they are quite well prepared in terms of preparing their students to cope with the future demand. But many parts of the world, we are struggling for that, including in our country. We try to understand better the dynamics of industry, especially talking from global perspective. Number one, the most critical way in support skill training is to understand the dynamic of industry. Sometimes you are asking about the providers of training, right? So normally they are comfortable with what they have. They are offering something that they're good at, not knowing the dynamics of industry. So that perspective is really important. So understanding the need of industry, not providing training just for the sake of providing training. That's crucial. So otherwise it becomes relevant. In our context, for example, we mandate all the training institutions to have a tracer study. So from there, we can tell whether their courses are really needed by industry. Also, we make an attempt to making a centralized application, especially for public providers of training. Hence, we know what training are popular among students and among market. Therefore, those are crucial part in making sure that the training has certain quality and meeting the industry need. Today's world, having knowledge is not enough. You have to have really some skill set. So then come with a formula whether you want to spend most of the time providing training for skills or for the theoretical part. So we come into a formula that, like what German has been doing, 20% the theoretical part, 80% on the vocational and hands-on part. That's really important in providing quality training relevant to the need of the industry. In Malaysia, 90%, or to be exact, 97% of the establishments are SMEs. Normally, SMEs, they like to wait the ready-made kind of workforce for them to employ. They're quite hesitant to train for a number of reasons. One, they argue that if they train, these people may go elsewhere after training. Two, training is costly business. So, therefore, we need to make sure that this small firm come together with the government to provide skills training. And in our context, we introduce what we call Human Resource Development Fund, where 1% of emolument, they have to contribute to this fund, and they can withdraw this fund for the purpose of training. So that kind of fund will ensure that force the small, medium enterprises also to invest in training. Otherwise, they become obsolete, they are complacent with the old technology. The only issue here, the coverage in our context for HRDF is not that big. Say, for example, out of 600,000 establishments, only 20% subscribing to HRDF. Now we are amending our laws to ensure that more and more people can, more and more company can contribute to that, and we can enforce. We can force company to spend some time and resources for training, because there is a limit for what government can do actually. So of course we finance our public training institutions, but at the same time we need, to find more of their involvement in providing training, especially among SMEs. And number one challenge is to continuously provide quality job, because jobs can be in many categories. Manual jobs, receiving a small return, but you have to go for creating quality jobs. That's really key challenge. And to create jobs, you have more investment. You have to have more investment. You have to have more new things. And to create investment, you have to create climate for investment. Okay, that's really crucial. Okay, that's number one. Second challenges is to make our workforce skillful. Okay, so by having skill, then they can stand on their own. They are more marketable. They are more employable. Those are two main challenges to me in terms of facing into the future. Creating quality jobs. That's on the demand side. On the supply side, creating quality of supply. So and try to match between that. That's the role of government. If the market cannot function well, to match between the demand and supply.